let us make the movement hands, part 3. So we're going to start with the hour hand, and if you remember the shaft that we made, kind of had a step design. So each step represents where one of the movement hands is going to sit. So they do have different diameters when it comes to where they're being positioned in the assembly. We're going to name this the hour hand. And once again, I'm going to hide this and insert an axis system. We're sketching the XY plane. We're going to make a couple of concentric circles. I'm going to zoom in since we are creating a very tiny object. I'm going to make 2 concentric circles here. Let's double click on that. And on the other side, still lying on the horizontal axis, 3 concentric circles, like so. Let's define the radius. So keep in mind, this is the radius, not the diameter. So when you're constraining, make sure you're converting. If you're working with the diameter, you have to double the dimensions that I'm giving. But if you're working with the radius, then that's just fine. Now the first one is 0.8. And the second one is 1.2. This one, let's start outwards. So this should be 2.2. The one that follows is 2. And lastly, we have 1.5. Now, the distance between the center of these 2 concentric pair of circles is 6 millimeters. All right. Then we're going to connect here using a line. So I'm going to select a line and make a horizontal line. It's starting from this circle to the second circle here, and it's going to be horizontal. So first make sure the line is horizontal and then kind of join it with this other circle. I can see it's not horizontal right now, so just please make sure, like so. And then the distance between that line and the horizontal axis is 4. Is 0.4, sorry, 0.4. Let's move it a little bit away from that axis, like so. Okay, once again, let's make another line starting from the second circle, okay, and then it's joining to the horizontal axis. And the distance between the end of this line to the center of these 3 concentric circles is 4. Then we need to define the vertical distance. So from this end point, I need to select the end point of the line. From that point to the horizontal axis is once again 0.4. So same level as this line here. Now that we've got that, we can mirror these 2 elements. These 2 lines, mirror them using the horizontal axis. Then we're going to make another 2 lines here, which is parallel to this line and this line. So you can make a point. Now it's touching the outer circle. So from this circle and touching the horizontal axis, but also it is parallel to the above line. And the distance between the two of them is 0.2. Okay, I have to make sure that this point is coincident with the axis. Coincident. Yep. Then mirror that one as well using the horizontal axis. Now we're going to trim off this outer circle. We just need this arc. So select quick trim and just trim it off. It's also here, here, and we just need to remain with that bit that's forming kind of a triangle there. Next, we can trim off this as well. Cool. And before we trim these other ones, let's make a rectangle. Here. And we're going to make these two lines symmetrical about the horizontal axis. Then this, double click on constraint. This line and this circle are going to be tangent, so tangency. The same goes for this too. All right. And lastly, the distance between this and this is 0.2. Like so. We can go back to quick trim and trim off the circles. Here and here. Now the hour hand has the Mercedes design as this circle. So we can start by creating 3 axes which are 120 degrees apart. So from this center, drop a vertical one and then drop another one from here, kind of facing that direction, and define the angle between the two to be 120. Similarly to this side, so an axis, and the angle is once again 120. Like that. So we're going to create a line from any point above here, and it's going to be parallel to the axis, this axis, and the distance between that and this axis is going to be 0.2. Like that. Now we can use mirror option. We can mirror this using the axis. And then once again, we can mirror this using this axis. This once again using that axis. This one using that axis. And this one using that axis. So select quick trim, and we're just gonna trim off the extra circumference. Looks good. Exit the workbench. We're gonna create a pad which is 0.02 in height, 0.02. Preview and select OK. Now, instead of working with part body once again, we're going to insert a new body and define it in the work object. And from here, we're going once again to sketch the XY plane. Select these 4 lines of the rectangle and project it as a not as a construction element, but as a standard element. And we need also to recreate this circle. So I'm going to create a circle. Make sure that that circle and this are concentric. Concentricity. And the radius is equal to 1.5 as well. Then you can exit. And we're going to create another pad, which is 0.01. 0.01. Preview. And select OK. Then now if we change the color of the second one, you can see we have this and we have this one. Now, because we're using part design, you can see that the sketches are not very smooth, especially the circular sketches are not very smooth. So to avoid these gaps, you can increase the diameter of this circle. So go back to the sketch, and this radius, maybe instead of 1.5, you can select 1.7. And this is because once we create our pad, it kind of joins together. So now, as you can see, it is closed. Now we can give this different materials. So for the part body, we can give it let's say steel. If we give it steel, then the second one we can give it a painting. Okay, let's just give it white. And the part body, actually, we can also give it a painting instead. Let's try aluminum gray. Let's see, silver gray. We can do silver gray. So now we need to create where the hands are not usually straight. So the upper side is straight, but the lower side, there is a surface protruding to the step, which is 0.4 millimeters as we defined from the shaft. So you can come here to part body once again and define in work object. Sketch the XY plane once more. So we can create 2 concentric circles here. We can project this one and create another extra one, which is a bit higher. So we're gonna give it, say 1. Now actually let's try, that was 0.8, right? 0.8. Yeah, I think 1 is okay. Then we're gonna exit and create a pad going downwards for 0.4. Like that. This one is pretty thick. This is the sketch. Reduce this to 0.9. Much better. Now usually the top surface is refined and the bottom surface is rugged, so we can create some edge fillet from dress up features. I can start with 0.5, 0.05, select OK. Okay, I think that's good. I'm not going to fillet these edges. I'm just going to leave them as they are. And this arm is ready. Let's go to the next one. So once again, start another part design and call this the minute hand. Select the XY plane and sketch. The minute hand is really simple. Let me zoom in. Start by 2 concentric circles. Then select profile, and from here, just a little bit inside, you're going to create a profile that looks like this, like that. Escape. So first define the radius, and this, the inner one, is 0.6. And the outer one is 1. Okay, then maybe we need to narrow this one down. Or I can delete this one and create it according to this scale. So from here, once again, profile. Like that. The distance between the center and the end of this line is 15.5. Then we're going to define this, the distance between this point and this point. Right click and select the horizontal measure, and it's going to be 1.5. Then between this point and this point, also the horizontal measure is going to be 3. And I'm going to drag this so that it kind of goes into the circle a little bit. I don't want a tip point here, because that means you just snap off then. So maybe up to about that point. Then select all 3 of the lines. Control, hold, select 3 and mirror them using the horizontal axis. I think the only thing that is left is to trim off. Next, create this rectangle And this line, and the horizontal axis are symmetrical. Then between this line and this point are coincident, just like we did with the previous one. This line and this point are coincident. To constrain this together, I can just define a distance between the center and this point and make it less than the actual radius. So the radius is 1. So I can make it 0.9. Like so. Or 0.8.5. 0.85. Now if I move the geometry, it should move together. Let's exit the constraint first. And then the width of this is 0.8. Now go and select quick trim and just trim off these 3 areas like so. Exit the workbench, and it's going to be the same 0.02. Enter. Then select the XY plane once again. Select this circle and project it. Add another one, which is concentric. So this was 0.6. So we're going to make this one 0.7. Exit. Create a pad. This time reverse the direction. And the length is 0.4. Lastly, insert a new body and define it in work object. Then sketch the XY plane once again. Select these 4 lines that created the rectangle and project them. Exit. Create a pad that is half the size, which is 0.01. Then the material is going to be, we gave that one white. And for the part body, the material is going to be silver gray. Let's add some fillets. So define in work object, back to part design, and then insert dress up features. Select this one. It's just the same as the other, so 0.05. And select OK. We're going to leave the rest as they are. Lastly, the second hand. So part design, call this the second hand. And insert axis system. Select the XY plane and sketch. Zoom in. We want to be close to this axis. Once again, we start by a couple of circles. So double click on circle. Start by making one small circle there. On the same horizontal axis, a pair of 2 concentric circles. and another distance away, another pair of 2 concentric circles, like so. The radius, the distances between the two, same case with this ones. So let's define them. We have 0.7. All the outer radius are 0.7. So all the outer radius 0.7, 0.7, and this 0.7. Then the inner radius, here we have 0.2, where the arm is being attached, and here we have 0.5. Then select line. We make a line connecting from here. It's horizontal, first and foremost. Need a horizontal line. Like that. Another one which is on the same level, like that. And lastly, from here, we have one that goes down to the horizontal axis. Now the distance between these two is 5.5. Second is 8.5. And then finally, the distance between the center of this circle and the end of this line is 8. The distance between this and the horizontal axis is 0.5. 0.05. 0.05. Now you can select the 3 elements and mirror them using the horizontal axis. Select quick trim and make sure the sketch is not intersecting by trimming off the intersecting curves, such as this one, this one. Okay, exit the workbench and create a pad which is also 0.02. Sketch the XY plane again. And this second circle is where we are going to mount the hand. So select this circle and project it. Then another one which is concentric to that. So this one was 0.2. So the outer one can be 0.3. Exit. Create a pad, reverse the direction, and it is still 0.4, the distance. Fillet this edge. .05. And insert a new body. select the XY plane, sketch, and you can select this circle, project it, exit, and create a pad which is 0.01. And this one is going to have a different material. And the part body will have a different painting. Go with that. And the movement hands are complete now, and they are ready for assembly, which we'll do at the end once we complete making all the parts. In the next part, we'll create the case back and the crown then. So see you in the next part.